What's up, guys? This is your daily Bitcoin update. We're also going to take a quick look at the Dow, gold, and the dollar index. The dollar index does look like it could possibly be bottoming soon. What does that mean? We're going to talk about it in this video. Don't forget to check out the free Discord group. There's a link below, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice or trading advice. There is a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And don't forget, on Sunday, we do a Ledger Nano S hard wallet giveaway. All you have to do to enter to win is make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Hit that thumbs up and leave your comment, as I will pick a random comment on Sunday. Will be the winner. All right, let's look at the Fear and Greed Index. We're at 92, same as yesterday. Still in the extreme greed zone, and this is what we've been looking at for the Dow. I'm still looking to possibly come up to this target around 30,700 range. We are making bearish divergence, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI as of right now. Gold, so this is what we're looking at, is a possible ABC in gold with a target of 1736 if it hasn't bottomed here. As you can see, we are getting resistance on the 21 EMA right now. And the reason I have the 1736 here is looking at this as an ABC correction with that comes down to the 1-to-1 extension. And let's take a look at the dollar. Now, this is the dollar index, and that's what I was talking about in the thumbnail. Have we bottomed out here? That is the question. And there are some similarities here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it. First off, I want to show you that even if we do bottom out here, where I've had this target about 90.22 to come back down and test this wedge here, that will be bullish divergence if we do bottom there. Obviously, if it drops below that, that could change everything. But I am looking for a bounce here, and if we bounce up and out of this wedge, then that could be where Bitcoin goes down from there. As people get out of speculative stuff, they get back into the dollar. We'll see if that's what's going to happen here, but I want to take a look at some similarities real quick. Last time we made a wedge over here. I'll circle some areas for you. As you guys know, I use the 8, 21, 55, 13, and 200 EMAs here. And as you can see, when they all crossed right here up at the top, same thing right here. We had a big drop, came down below all the, and then once we dropped below the 200 here, you can see we did not come back up. And once we got below the 8, 13, and 21 down here, we tried twice to pop above the 21. And we tried twice over here. Failed, went down, tested the bottom of the wedge, and blew up from there. I believe we'll probably see the same thing here. Obviously, it doesn't have to play out the same, but it's looking pretty possible. Let's zoom into that a little bit. Let me get the RSI off there. But as you can see, right there would be coming down to hit the bottom of this wedge. And if we rise from there, the target, and it doesn't mean we shoot up in one green candle here. You know, this could take a year, who knows? But the target then would be around 101, somewhere in that area, 100 to 101, possibly higher. But anyway, that would be the target for that. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin, and stick around to the end of the video, and we're going to take a look at the macro. I do want to show you guys a market cycle that we could be looking at. Just a possibility, but you definitely want to see it. All right, so let's take a look at the hourly. We've been looking at this in the hourly as, if you look at the yellow, possible rising wedge or a ending fifth diagonal, which would be 1, 2, come back down and test the bottom, 3, 4, 5, or I'm sorry, it'd actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if that's the case. But if we break above, right now, the two areas I'm watching for a big trade here is if we break this 20,100, and depending on where it hits this line, anywhere from 20,100 to 20,200, somewhere in this area. If we break that, I would be longing to this trend line up here. And mind you, if I did a long here, I would put my stops just below. And a lot of times you can wait. If it does pop up, come back down, test for support before continuing up. Same thing if it breaks the bottom, come back, test the bottom for support. The other thing I'm looking at here, the 200 EMA right now is lying around the 18,560. And if we come down to retest the bottom of this wedge, which I think is most likely, would be around the 17.8 to 17.9 range, depending on how quick we get down here. Now, to look at the super bullish case scenario, would be looking at this wedge if we did pop up past that 20 and blew through this trend line here. Our target would be about 23,800. That's the bullish case. Bearish case, if we do break it here, which again, we could come back up, test it again, and then break it way back over here. So depending on where it breaks, but if it broke here at the 17.8, our next line of support would be the top of this rising channel around 16.9. But a break of that, like I said, would get us down to that 14,241 would be the target of breaking out of this. But again, if the longer it took, if we didn't break out till up here, break through the bottom, that would line up with, actually with the 0.5 fib around 15.6, somewhere in that range. But that's what I'm looking at here. Let's look at the RSI real quick. If we got any divergence, not really. Let's go over to Prime XBT. If you guys are interested in trading, definitely check it out. I'm going to leave a video above. If you check out that video, share it, and leave a comment, that will get you entered to win a $500 bonus that I'll send to you when I pick a random comment on that video. I'll be doing 3 $500 giveaways 2 weeks apart. So the first one will be on the 27th. So check it out. And if you are interested in trading, this is a great exchange for trading Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, Bitcoin, EOS, Litecoin, XRP, everything on leverage. And in that video that I showed you above, we'll show you how to change your leverage. A lot of people are confused on Prime. It's actually pretty simple. But anyways, you can use my promo code SAVY50. That will get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit up to 1 Bitcoin as a bonus. And you can use that towards your margin. Savvy25 will get you 25% off of your fees. All right, looking at the 4 hour, let's zoom out a little bit. It is possible we've topped out here. Or do we come up and retest this top, the top of this rising broadening wedge here? A break of this top trend line, then I would say we may not be returning for quite a while. But let's take a look at this rising channel. In white here, where we broke out, we had a measured move of 20,800. Still a possibility. I know a lot of people are really looking for that 21,000. Does it mean it'll come? Usually the more people I think it will, the less likely it is to. But let's take a look at where we're at now, what's going on. And right now we are getting support on the 8 EMA in the 4 hour. Actually, it just dropped below it a bit, but the 13 EMA is going to lie around the 19,170, and we're dropping a little bit as I'm making this. 21 EMA is around 19,030. 55 EMA is around 19,250. 200 EMA, which lines up with the top of this channel, is around 16,800 to 16,900, depending, if we do continue down from here. In the RSI, we did make some, we did make some divergence from this high to this high. We made a higher high in the price, lower high in the RSI. That is bearish divergence. And earlier I drew this little wedge in here, and we actually broke out of it, broke back down below it. It does look like we're going to continue down from here for a ways anyways. But those are my targets there. And if we did top, we take the Fibonacci retracement from the swing low to the swing high using the low of 2018. And that would get us 15,960 would be the 0.236 retracement. 0.382 would be 13.5. 0.5 would be 11,530. Then we have the golden pocket around 92. Then the 0.786 around 66. Could it go lower? It possibly could. Like I said, stick around. I'm going to show you a macro chart that is very interesting looking at a cycle. All right, let's take a look at the daily. So again, we find ourselves around that above the 18.8. We still have not opened and closed a candle above that yet. And like I said, if we open and close a candle above 18.8, then I get bullish. But so far we have not done that. And right now, the 8 EMA on the daily lies right in that area. Remember, we have lower highs in the RSI, higher highs in the price action. We do have bearish divergence on the daily here. I want to see where this daily closes. If we close below the 18.8, chances are we may not make it above that again. But if we do close above that, that would be bullish. We could be looking at this 22, 23,000. If that was to break, 25,000 in the bullish case. If that was to break, up into 30,000. And what those trend lines are, just trend lines off of this middle wick here from each wick down here each time we topped out. Like I said a few times before, well, I'll tell you in a minute when we get into those charts. First, check out my wife's webpage, inkyourimage.com. Great way to support the channel, along with the other affiliate links down there. There's a lot of great deals in there, but there's a lot of stuff in here you will not find anywhere else. She makes this stuff all herself, so check it out. It's quality, not garbage. She also does family pictures on glass and whatnot. Hit her up in the contact if you have any questions. All right, so looking at this, I don't know if any of you guys ever heard of the 550-day cycle, but it does lie true in most all markets. And if we look at the top back here in 2017 and the top in 2019 here, that was exactly 566 days from top to top, which obviously it doesn't have to be exactly 550, but it comes in pretty close. And if we take the top 2019 all the way over to where we're at now, that would be 527 to 528 days, somewhere in that range. We could go further. We could get one more push up, definitely possible. But it does look like we are ending this cycle here. And that being the case, even if we do go up higher, our next all-time high, our next peak over here will be in 2022, according to this chart. Now let's take a look at the bottoms here. So looking from this low to this low, 457 days. Looking from our 2018 low to 2020 low, 455 days. So that was 2 days off. Let's say we did a 457, and this is why I say I'm not looking to buy back my hodl position until first or second quarter next year. That's what I'm looking at still as of right now. But as of right now, I am trading, and what I win off my trades, I've been stacking those Bitcoin. I'm not selling them anymore currently. I'll let you know if that changes, but as of right now, I'm looking to buy my hodl back in here. And this would line up with around June, the end of June, beginning of July next year for the bottom. Does it have to be this low? No, it could be up at 12,000, could be at 8,000, could be all the way down. Who knows? But this is when I'm looking to buy back in if this plays out. Now, obviously, if that changes, I'll let you guys know. But as of now, that is still what I'm sticking to. I know a lot of people think that the weekly 21 is where it's going to bounce, when usually when a lot of people think that, when it gets down there, a bunch of people will long, and usually them longs will get liquidated, pushing it further. You guys remember what happened here in 2019 at 6,000, because it was support for so long, and once it broke, they thought we wouldn't get above this that year, and I called that. We blew through it like butter. We could do the same thing the opposite way here, so be careful. And I'm looking at this top here, and it could be looking like this top here, possibly. Be aware, be careful. I'm not saying it has to happen, but you guys need to take a look at both directions. Just because everybody's saying it's bullish because every time this happens, that happens, every time this happens, that happens, the halving, blah, 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 acting like Bitcoin's 100 years old and it's had a lot of data to go by. There's only been a few halvings. Bitcoin's only been around 10 years. So there's not really a lot of data looking at the macro to go off that and say this is what's going to happen because of this. So be careful. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you never put in more than you're willing to lose. If you're trading, use risk management and stop losses. Yeah, just be careful. And let's take a look at the weekly. So this is the super bullish case, in my opinion. If we break this, or I'm sorry, since we broke these solid white trend lines here, the breakout of that was a target of 28,000. Again, this is the bullish case. I still steer towards this not being the massive bull run. I think we'll see the massive bull run at the sometime in 2022. But if this is the case, and breaking this trend line is about $30,000 target. I get that because that's when we broke the trend line on the RSI. Now, this is what I've been talking about for quite some time. We had this symmetrical triangle in the RSI, which we did break here. Got bullish, came up, and if we look at where we're at now, this does look to be forming a rising wedge, and we have topped on it here. I do expect us to come down and retag the top of this triangle. Where will that be on the price action? Who knows? That would line up with the weekly 21 EMA and around 11,700 back to this trend line. If we went all the way back down to this trend line, with that could be around the $8,000 to $9,000 range. So who knows? We'll keep an eye on it. That's why I do daily updates. But as of right now, I do think we test this. If we break down here and break this wedge, I do believe there's a good possibility we come down and test this bottom one. That will be a massive buy signal if that happens, in my opinion. So keep an eye out for that. Let's really keep an eye on this weekly trend line on the top. This could be months off. Like I said, we may not bottom until next year, if I'm correct on my theory of the 550-day cycle. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Smash the like button and leave your comments down below. I really appreciate it. And let me know what you think. Do you think this is the massive bull run we're going to continue up? Do you think we're just going to have that 20% correction people are talking about and continue up? Or do you think it could trick everyone and continue down? One more thing. With all the big institutions investing and psyching people up and hyping it up, my theory is when the institutions play, and if you think they weren't in here shorting the hell out of Bitcoin, you're crazy. And if you think they weren't playing around in here, you're crazy. And if you think they only started buying up here, you're nuts. Pretty sure they started buying down here, and that's why we rose so quickly. That's not the average Joe. Anyways, how institutions exit. They would be exiting when people are FOMOing in and the hype is big and everybody's crazy and thinks we're going to all-time highs. That's when they'll start selling so they can sell high. And while people are buying, they can sell into it without crashing the price too much. And when it finally comes down, they lay off and they'll start doing it again. That's usually what creates these tops. They sell each rally so they can sell at a higher price, and then they'll wait, and when it's bottomed out again, they'll start buying the hell out of it, just like they did here, just like they did here, and in my opinion, like they're gonna do here. So that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm out.